Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the word ladder 2 problem, which is a follow-up of word ladder 1. So I will highly recommend you to solve this problem first and watch my video on word ladder 1 because I will not be repeating the details of the previous problem. So we will be solving it by using BFS plus DFS approach, and this problem is from graph algorithm. So let us first read the problem statement. Now in this case we are given two words, begin word and end word, and a dictionary word list. Find all the shortest transformation sequence from begin word to end word such that only one letter can be changed at a time. Each transformed word must exist in the word list. Note that the begin word is not the transformed word. The constraints are the same as in the word ladder 1. Return an empty list if there is no such transformation sequence. All words have the same length. All words contain only lowercase alphabetic characters. You may assume no duplicates in the word list, and you may assume begin word and end word are non-empty and are not the same. Okay, so let us look at an example in order to get a better understanding. Well, in this problem our goal is to find all the possible shortest transformations which are possible from the begin word to end word. Now in this case our begin word is, let's say, hit, and our end word is cog. I have already explained you how to form this graph given the word list. So we will be forming this graph. Each of the edge will be representing nothing but if you are given a word, then you can change only a single character in order to reach to the next character. Okay, so in this case if you are at hit, then you can change this I to O and you will make it hot. So these two will be adjacent. Okay, so this is how this graph can be drawn given a word list. Now what will be the possible shortest paths starting from the begin word and reaching to the end word? In this case the path length will be 5, which will be hit, hot, dot, dog and cog. This is one possible path. Okay, and another possible path is hit, hot, lot, log and cog. So these are the only two paths which are possible, which are of minimum depth, which is 5. So these are these two paths. Okay, so I hope you understood what our goal is in this problem. Now one solution idea can be, the first one can be apply BFS and find the shortest distance or depth from the begin word to end word. Let that depth be equals to x. So this was already found in word ladder 1. You can use that entire code as well. Now the second thing which you can do is, once you know that from begin word to the end word your depth will be equals to x, then you can apply DFS starting from the begin word, and you will perform DFS only for depth equals to x. So once you exceed this depth x, then you will return. Otherwise, if at depth x you found the end word, then obviously from the begin word to this depth x, if you find this end word, then that path will be included in your sequence. Okay, so this is the entire logic. If at depth x we find the end word, then push the current path, which is from begin word to the end word, which you have stored during your DFS calls. Otherwise, if you did not find, if you reach to depth x and did not find your end word, then we will backtrack and try another path. So this is one logic which you can apply. Now the illustration of the idea goes like this. Let us say this is your given graph and you want to start from hit and reach to this cog. Then in step 1 you will find the minimum depth using your BFS. So this was done in word ladder 1. So hit is at depth 1, hot is at depth 2, dot and lot will be at depth 3, dog and log will be at depth 4, and cog will come at depth 5. So if you are applying BFS and if you find the end word, then obviously the first time you find the end word is the minimum distance, which is nothing but the number of levels. This I had explained in the previous problem as well. Now once you know the minimum depth, you can start applying DFS from this hit, and then you can make those many number of calls. Like if you start from hit, you will make 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls and this 4 calls. So you went to depth equals to 5. Now if you go to depth equals to 5 and if you find cog, then obviously this is one possible path. But let's say you went from hit to hot, from hot to dot, dot to lot, and again from lot to log. So when you reach to this log, then you have exhausted 5 calls. So in this case, this log is not equals to your cog, which is the end word. So in this case, this will not be your minimum distance path. So you will just backtrack to lot, you will try some other path, you will backtrack to dot, and you will try some other path. So this is how the DFS calls work. I hope you got the idea of how to solve it. Now, how to make the DFS call? One simple approach is to apply DFS using the brute force. So if you are having, let's say, hit word, then what we can do is, for this first letter we can have 26 possible combinations from A to Z. For this I, we can again have 26 possible combinations, and so on. So if your word length is, let's say, n, then the total number of combinations possible is 26 into n. So there will be those many possible DFS path just coming out of the single node. So what this will do, this will obviously be increasing your time limit, and so you will get this time limit exceeded error. So instead of making these unnecessary calls, we will try to make an adjacency list, and then we will be making only the valid calls. This will highly improve the time complexity. Okay. So how to make the adjacency list? In this case, the adjacency list will not be a normal adjacency list which we are usually used to see. Let's say for this word hit, we will be starting from hit. So the adjacent word is hot. So this is our normal case. In this case, hit will be having adjacent as hot, and in our required adjacency list format as well, we will be having hot as an adjacent word of hit. Now if you are at hot, then what will be the adjacent words? You will be having hit as adjacent word, dot, and also lot. Now this is the normal case. For hot, we will be having 3 adjacent nodes. But what we want is, we want only dot and lot. And why is that? Because we want to maintain a parent-child relationship. Whenever we are at a node, that node should be the parent and all its children should be contained as adjacent nodes. Why are we doing this actually? So this we are doing because on each DFS call, we actually want to go one level at a time, because we don't want to make DFS call at the same level. That will not give us the minimum depth answer. Okay. So what is the logic behind it? Actually, let's say if you are starting at this hot and you want to reach to this cog. Okay. And I have already shown you that these are the levels according to BFS. Now if you make a call from hit to hot, from hot to dot, from dot again you make a call to lot, again from lot to log, and log to cog, then what will be the distance in this case? The distance will come out to be 6. And why not it is 5? The minimum distance is 5. And why it is 6? Because we have made one unnecessary call at the same level. We were at dot and we made a call to lot. These two are basically at the same level. Okay, and that is why we are getting a higher distance. You can see that if you make a call to the same level or even to a previous level, like if we had made a call from hit to hot, hot to dot, again from dot to hot, again from hot to dot, and then from dot to dog and cog, then obviously these many transitions will obviously increase the depth, and so we will never be getting the minimum depth. So in order to get the minimum depth, what we should try is, we should always make a transition one level at each DFS call. If we are making this transition and if we are able to reach to this end word, then obviously we will be taking the shortest path. Okay, so this is why we always want to maintain the adjacency list in the format that once we are at a node, then all the nodes which we are pointing to are its child, that is are its children, and it should not be parent or any node at the same level. So you can see that for hot, the adjacent nodes are dot and lot because those are the children of hot. Similarly for dot, we are having just dog. You can see that for dot, we are just having dog and not this lot and hot. But in the normal case for dot, we would be having hot, lot and dog, because those will be correct for any adjacency list. But in this case, we are making a special adjacency list, which will only be maintaining the relationship between the current node as parent and the nodes which are adjacent to it as its children. Okay, so this is what we want. So store only the parent to child relation node in the adjacency list, because if we take a jump, then it should always increase the depth to get the minimum depth from source to destination. All other paths will never give the minimum depth route. So we will be making this adjacency list. Now before looking at how to solve this problem, let us first look at what data structures do we need. In this case, we need a map in order to store the adjacency list. We need a set to keep the dictionary of word list. We need a queue for performing BFS. We need a map to store the depth of each node. because if we know the depth of each node, then only we can form this special kind of adjacency list. So for that reason we need a map which will help us to form the spatial adjacency list. We need a 1D array so that when we make a DFS call, then we can store the current path. We need a 2D array so that we will be storing all possible paths as our answer. Okay. Now let us look at a dry run in order to better understand this problem. So in this case we want to start from hit and want to reach this cog. Now once we are at hit, then what we will do is we will take this queue and insert the begin word into our queue, which is hit, and we will also insert this hit in our visited map. So this map will always be maintaining at what level a current node is. So we will be assuming that this hit, which is the first node, will be at level 0. Now we will process the entire queue. So how many nodes are at this level? We are just having a single node. We will take out this node, which is hit. We will try to perform all possible transformations, and the details of these steps are already given in word ladder 1, so I will not be repeating it. Once we perform a one-step transition, then we can reach to this hot, because this hot is present in our word list. So what we will do, we will check if it is already visited. It is not visited, so we will mark it as visited. And since we are processing this hit and there is a direct edge from hit to hot, and this hot was not visited, therefore this hot must be a child of hit. Therefore the level at which this hot will be equals to 1 plus the level at which this hit is. So hit is at level 0, so hot will be at level 0 plus 1, which will be 1. Okay. Now we will also insert hot into our queue for further processing, and also the adjacent node of hit will now be equals to hot. Okay, I hope you are understanding it. Now there are no other possible transitions, so this is processed. So level 1 is done now. Now we will take out the other nodes. So this is level 2 processing. At level 2 we are again having only one word, so we will take out this hot. Now when we are seeing this hot, then how many adjacent nodes are there? So from this hot, if we apply all possible transitions, we can reach to this hit. But you can see that visited value of hit is 0 and the visited value of hot is 1. This indicates that hit is an ancestor or a parent of hot, and so we won't do anything. We are just required to see the child and add it into the adjacency list, as I have already explained you. So we won't do anything. Now from hot we can reach to this dot. So dot is not visited, so we will mark it as visited, and the level of dot will be 1 plus level of hot, which is 1 plus 1, which will be 2. We will insert this dot into the queue for further processing, and also hot will be having adjacent node as dot. Okay. Now from hot we can reach to this lot, and also lot is not present in our visited map. So we will insert lot at level 2, and you will be inserting lot in the queue, and again the adjacent node to hot will be lot. So lot will be added adjacent to hot. Now there are no other adjacent nodes of hot, so this will be done. Now 2 levels of processing are done. So at the third level we are having 2 nodes. So we will take out the first node, which is dot. So dot is taken out. Now when we are at this dot, then we can have 3 possible transitions in the word list. So one possible transition is to this hot, but hot is already present and its level is 1 and level of dot is 2. So hot is the parent, so we won't do anything. Now from dot we can move to lot, but lot is having same level as dot, so they both are same level, we won't do anything. Now from dot we can reach to dog. So dog is not present in the visited list, then we will make it visited and add its level as 1 plus level of dot, which will be 3. Now we will be inserting dog into our queue, and also the adjacent node of dot will now be equals to dog. Okay. Now all the adjacent nodes have now been traversed, and so this dot is processed. Now we will take out this lot. So now we will process lot. Now for this lot, hot is an adjacent node, but hot is parent, we won't do anything. For lot, dot is adjacent node, but they are both at same level because they both have values 2, and so we won't do anything. For lot, log is adjacent, log is not present in visited list, so we will add log, which will be at level 1 plus level of lot, which will be 3. Okay. And we will also be inserting log here, and lot will be having adjacent node as log. Okay. Now there are no other adjacent nodes of lot, so this will be done. Now this third level is done. We will now be processing the fourth level. Fourth level is having dog and log, so we will take out dog. Dog is taken out. Now the adjacent node of dog is cog here. So cog is basically the end word. So our dog will be having adjacent word as cog, and since cog is not present in the visited list, so the level of cog will be 1 plus level of dog, which will be 4, and also cog will be inserted into your queue. Now this dog has been processed. Now we will take out this log. So from log we cannot go to lot and dog because they are parent and at the same level, and you can only go to cog. So from log you will again be having cog as child, and cog is already present in our visited list, and the level of cog is 4, which is nothing but 3 plus 1, which will be the level of log. So level of log is 3 and level of cog is 4, and that is why we were able to add cog in the adjacency list of this log, because cog is the child of log. And now log is also processed. For this cog there are no valid adjacent nodes because dog and log are basically parents of cog, so this will be processed as well. Now the main thing which we were doing is, in the first step we performed BFS and we only formed the spatial adjacency list. This was our spatial adjacency list. Now once we have formed this spatial adjacency list, we will start from our start word, which is hit, and then we will perform DFS on this. DFS search, simple DFS search. We will be applying DFS for all possible paths starting from this begin word, and we will try to find cog. So I hope you will be able to apply DFS on all possible paths using this adjacency list. This adjacency list is important because if we take a node, then everything adjacent to it will always be at a level below this current node. Let's say we take this lot, then adjacent to lot is log. This means that if we perform DFS, if we are at this node lot, and if we perform DFS, we will go simply to log. So from lot we can go to log, and we cannot go to dot or hot. So we are making sure that we are always making one depth of traversal for each DFS call, and this will always give us the minimum possible depth starting from the begin word to end word if there is any possible path. Okay. So I think this is the most important and the difficult part about this problem, like making the spatial adjacency list. Once this is done, then solving the problem by using DFS will just be a cakewalk. So I hope you will be able to do this by traversing all possible paths using DFS. In case if you have any confusion regarding DFS, I will be putting the link in the description below where you can watch my video on how to perform DFS. So one thing to note is, if we always jump one level on traversing one node to another, then the distance of source to destination in a graph will always be same and it will be minimum. This I have already explained. Now the time complexity for this process will be, if we are having a word of length L, because all the words will be having same length, then each and every character will be having 26 possible combinations, and at each level you can have n number of words. So this will be the time complexity of BFS. Now for DFS, generally if you want to find source to destination, all possible paths transition, then you will have to perform VE number of operations. Okay. So I hope you were able to understand the algorithm. Let us now look at the code. In this code you can see that we are given begin word, end word and the word list. Now I have taken a map of adjacency list and a set for this dictionary, so that all the words present in the dictionary are kept in this dict variable. I have taken a queue for BFS call. I have pushed the begin word into the queue, and I have also taken a map in order to mark the level of each and every word. Okay, so this is nothing but our visited map. Now I will be performing the BFS. So this is the entire BFS call. So let me just show you how the BFS works here. So this is very similar to the word ladder 1 problem. Now in this case I will be popping each and every word one by one, and I will be copying the current word into temporary variable as well, because we want to find all possible combinations. Now this is for all possible positions for a word, and this is for all possible combination of letters for a given position of word. Okay. Now if we have made a transition and if the current word is same as the original word, then obviously by changing I to I, you will still be having hit as hit. Okay, so if we make a transition for the same letter to the same letter, there is no meaning in that, and so we will be continuing, that is we will be checking for the next possibility. Otherwise, if we have made some valid transition, then we will make the transition and check if it is present in our dictionary, that is it should be present in our word list. If it is present in our word list, then either it is already traversed or it is not traversed. So if it is not traversed, then we will make it visited, that means we will write its level as 1 plus level of the current node, because the current node will be considered as a parent node and the newly discovered node will be nothing but the child node. So the child node will be having 1 plus the level of the current node. So we will also be pushing the current node into the queue, and then we will be including it in our adjacency list. That means the current node's adjacent element will be temp, which is the new combination which is present in our word list. Okay, otherwise we will check if it is already visited. If it is already visited, then we will check if the current node is the adjacent node of the temporary node which we formed as a new combination. If it is true, then the current node will be having adjacent node as temp, otherwise it won't. Okay, so after performing all these operations in BFS, we will be able to make our spatial adjacency list. Once we make our spatial adjacency list, we will be taking a path vector which will be storing each path for our DFS call, and then we will be making DFS call. So after performing all these possible paths using DFS, starting from the begin word, searching for the end word, we will be storing all possible shortest path in our answer vector, which is nothing but a 2D array, and we will be returning it as an answer. So let us see how the DFS is performed. So this is the DFS call which we will be making here. In this case, if we are given a source and we are given a destination, then we are basically performing all possible transitions from source to destination by exploring all possible paths. So in this case, we will be pushing the begin word, which is nothing but the current word, into the path. Now we will be traversing node wise, and therefore we will have to store each and every node once we are traversing a path. So if the current node is equals to end word, then obviously we have reached to destination starting from source, and so we will have to update our answer, which is nothing but a 2D array. So we will have to push the entire path into the answer, because it will be storing all possible paths starting from the begin word ending to the end word. And in this case, since we have made a spatial adjacency list, we will always be making a DFS call to one level down. That is, if we are at level 1, then we will make a DFS call to level 2. From 2, we will be making a DFS call to 3. Okay, so this we are making sure by making a spatial adjacency list. So this will always be giving us the minimum depth of traversal using DFS. So once we have pushed the entire path, then obviously when we are at a node and we reach to destination, then we will be going back and exploring the other paths, and so we will have to remove this node. So basically we are removing path.popback, that is we are backtracking. Now if this is not true, if the current word is not equals to end word, then we will be trying for all possibilities using our adjacency list, and after trying all possibilities we will come out and we will pop back the current node, because again we will be backtracking to certain node which will make certain other calls. Okay, so we will be removing this. So that is why we are doing this pop back. I hope you are able to understand this. This was very implementation based problem, so this was not very easy. I hope you will try this solving yourself. If you have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you on our next video. Thank you.